Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the show. Day number 6 of our live every day in August. Live every day in August. Oh, we're going to be talking about a great topic tonight. We're going to be talking about journaling for transformation. You know, we've been talking about change. We've been talking about empowerment as we have gotten into our month. And this is the second episode in this series within a series, right? So we're doing live every day in August. As you guys know, this is our anniversary month. August 4th was 2 years that we were on the air. And we've decided that we're going to do a show every night throughout the month of August. And you'll see there, it says TBD, right? Because we don't have a time for the show. Our regular show, which comes out on Mondays at 7 o'clock, is going to be at the regular time. But these extra episodes that we're doing, you know, it depends on what's going on in our schedule. And so tonight we got a great topic. We're talking about journaling for transformation. We have been talking, so we started last night. We started talking about designing a new me, right? Designing a new us. And this is the second in a series. If you are new to the channel, this is Dr. Dwayne Wood. That's Wood with an E. The E stands for endocrinology. We here on our channel, we help to educate, we help to empower, and we help to encourage you to take charge of your health and your life. Go to the next level. Live that life that you've always wanted and avoid complications. Welcome you. If you've not already done so, go ahead and give us a thumbs up, like us, share this with your family and friends. Go back and watch the other episodes, right? So we're on day number 6. So we started out with our regular show talking about diabetic neuropathy, and then we went in talking about beliefs. We went in talking about the wheel of life. And then we talked about transforming changes, right? And so tonight we are talking about the second installment in that designing a new me. And I see Christopher out there. Hey, Christopher, good evening, man. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out with us. We appreciate that. So why don't we jump right in? Let's jump right in and let's talk about our topic for tonight. We're talking about journaling. So a lot of people don't think that journaling has much power. A lot of people don't think that journaling has much power. And I went back and I pulled out, and here are just, 3 of my old journals. At one time I had, this is just, look at that. I don't know if you guys can see that. This is just a standard diary, right? So if you go into this thing, I've got papers hanging out, right? Stuff that I've done. Here look at this. This is a poem that I wrote back. Oh man, wow. That must have been 17, 18, 19 years now that I wrote a poem and it was published, right? So that I stapled it into my journal. You guys can see that there. I've got here look at these. This is my medical school personal statement. Like that. How long ago was that? Right? That's a long time ago. So this was over the years. I've had many decisions that have charted the course of my life. Among these, several stand out. Right? So I'm writing this to the admissions committee. So that's in here. I've got sermons that I wrote. You guys may know that a couple weeks ago I spoke at a church down in Birmingham. And so in here, I've got sermons that I wrote, right? And then just kind of stuff that I jotted. I'm not going to, so you guys, right? Just stuff that I jotted down. So that's one of the journals. I have journals that, for instance, this one, let's see, this one was when I was studying, and I love studying the Bible. So this one I was studying the book of Luke. So I created, I created a journal, right, in there, and just all kinds of, I can scroll, blah, 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 blah. Look at all that, right? So journals. So I've been journaling for a while, and back over in my room, we've got journals and journals and journals. And a lot of people don't think that journals really have much power, but I'm here to tell you that they do, right? The fact, not only will they help you to clear your thoughts and establish goals, and we're going to come back and talk about goals in another show, and actually do a segment where we just talk about goals. We talk about SMART goals and so forth. But we need to begin, if we're going to effect change, right? And we talk about being able to monitor, and so starting to write down the things that we are doing, our thoughts, the list that we came up with. For instance, on our last show, I asked you guys to go to the website and download those questions to help you write your mission statement for your life. And I hope you did that, right? So the answers to those questions, all those things can begin going in the journal. And we're going to talk about some different things here tonight, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about what I want you to do. So let's just hop over there. So let's see. So the incredible power of journaling for transformation is what we're talking about tonight. And so what do journals do, right? And so here's a list. You see that. So they help you process your thoughts and feelings. Now, I'll tell you. Well, let me jump over to this one first, right? So there are different types of journals, right? So we could have dream journals, food journals, fitness journals, gratitude journals, sketch journals, days event journals, and to-do lists. To-do lists really are just a simple journal, right? Just tells you the stuff that you've got to be doing today. So dream journals, what are my dreams? What are some things that I want to do in my life? What are some goals? Okay, so you can put that in the dream journal. Food journal, right? And I did a lot of journaling. Although I have these guys, I did a lot of journaling, and I do a lot of journaling on my phone, right? So there's the memo app. There are all these different apps that you can do a memo app, and all these different apps that you can use. Right. So at one time I was doing a food journal, and you guys may or may not know or remember that I have and had a significant problem with food, right? So when I was going through and working through that, I had a journal on my phone, so that if I stopped off somewhere, right, the question that I asked was, why am I stopping? And so I would do that in my journal. I'd go and dictate or whatever I needed to do, right? So food journals, you can do that there. Fitness journals, right? So keep track of the things that you're doing in your routine. Is today leg day or back day or quad day? Am I doing aerobic? Am I doing anaerobic? Am I doing some strength training, right? So the fitness, what am I doing in terms, and going back to the food, what am I eating, right? One of the things that we did years ago was something called bright line eating. And so, we would get the food and we record it and so forth. Anyway, so you can do lots of things with journals. Sketch journal, that's an interesting one. And I don't have, let's see, I don't think any of these have any of my sketches. Yeah, but at one point, I did sketches, right? So I think it's over in my office, in the other office. But, and as I studied, right? As I studied, we did that. In medical school, there's this association that you make between a concept and you just sketch it out. So I used that a lot when I was studying in medical school, when I was, sometimes when I was just sitting and not really knowing how to process, I just sketched, right? I didn't have the words to write. I didn't have the words to dictate. I didn't know what was going on. So I just started sketching. And so I have one of those in some of my journals. And then days event journals, right? So at the end of my day, I sit down with a journal and I go through that. So there can be lots of different journals, right? That's the whole point of this. But why, right? What can journals do for us? So they can help us process our thoughts and our feelings. Now, this is a very important one, right? Because when we are unable to process thoughts and feelings, where do they stay? Yeah, they stay in here, right? And you've probably had an occasion where there's something that happened in your day and you didn't share it with anybody. You didn't say anything about anybody to anybody. And your day took an interesting turn. And then you said to somebody, hey, man, I'm really upset about this thing, or mad about this thing, or you shared them, whatever the situation was. And you immediately felt, ooh, right? Like a weight was lifted off. Now, journaling helps you do that as well, right? So there are times that there are all these things that are going on in our heads. And remember, we have already said that what's in here, that's what dictates how we behave. Right? Remember that catalog we keep talking about? It dictates how we behave because our brain, our mind is always trying to find evidence for what we're telling it. So if we're in here, whatever the situation is, some feeling, it be a negative feeling, something bad that happened. So let's do a silly example, right? So you were late to work and you're rushing and you get to work and things are going crazy. All right. And you were late because something happened at home. You, your spouse, your mother, father, whoever, you got into something and it delayed you. And so that thing is in your mind. Okay. Now, if it's in your mind, you could be processing, right, stuff in a way that negatively impacts you. Right. So, it was my fault. Oh, if I was more responsible. Oh, whatever the situation is, you're playing it round and round and round and round in your head. And you've probably had those situations where you just kept looking at it from all different angles. And if you had simply gotten it out, you wouldn't have to do that. So journaling can help you do that, process thoughts and process feelings. It can also help you reflect on your day. Right. We just said that again. Daily with what experiences. So in my end of day journal, not my end of day, I've got a brain dump journal before I leave work, before I drive off. And in my brain dump journal, I talk about the decisions that I've made today. Like, as a matter of fact, let me pull up and I'll read you. I'll read that to you. Let's see. I don't think I can show it to you right now, but that's okay. Let's see. And I use an app called Day One. That's the app I use for my journaling on my phone. And so when I go into here, this is my brain dump. And my brain dump says, the first question is, what decisions are on your mind? Right? So what decisions have I made today that's on my mind? Who is on your mind? Like what people, right? So sometimes I'm, thinking about my son. I'm thinking about something that we've got to do. So that's on my mind. Have you had any successes today? Right? Have you had any successes today? And anything on your mind that we need to pay particular attention to for tomorrow. Okay, so and it's simple. Just 1, 2, 3, 4 questions, right? And then there's a place there for me to take my picture. So I take my picture, put it in there. Why did I take the picture? Just me. It tells me where I am, what was going on, and it helps me to make sure that I'm doing it in the right space, right? Because if I do my brain dump and I'm at home when I take my picture, that means that I drove all the way home and I didn't do it when I was supposed to, right? Because the point is to do the brain dump at the end before I leave work, so that as I'm going home, I'm not still thinking about that stuff, right? So that's one of the reasons for doing the brain dump. Let's see, helps you work through difficult emotions and situations, right? So when you put it down on paper, when you journal it, when you dictate it, then you're able, right, to sometimes see it more objectively. It's a form of self-care. Right, because once again, you're taking all this stuff out from in here, and you're putting it on paper. And one of the things that sometimes people will say to me is, "I can't sleep because my brain is going." All right, so get a journal, write it down, dictate it, get it out of here. Because once you get it out of your brain, then the brain says, "Oh, I know I can always go back to it, and I can always find it, so I don't have to keep processing it." And you can go to sleep. You'll be amazed at how that begins happening, right? Because the brain says, okay, the reason it's going over is because it's saying, I've got to remember this stuff. I got to keep up with it. But write it down and says, oh yeah, if I want to look at that again, I can just go to the journal and I can pick it up, right? It helps to increase your creativity and productivity. Once again, it allows you to free your brain processing powers. Because remember, anything that's in there, the brain is still doing it. You may not be thinking about it consciously, but it's in there. And so the brain is still doing these things, right? So if you take it out, then the brain has the ability to use that processing for something else. Do you know how much energy it takes to continually go over and over and over the same thing? Right? You know, when somebody gets on your nerves, or somebody does something to you, somebody hurts you, so when you're mad at them, right? Have you ever had those revenge fantasies? That's what they're called, right? Where you're in there, and you're like, oh, you know, if only, you know, and you think of bad things happening to people, you know, right? Maybe they'll have a flat tire, or maybe, you know, they'll be late to work, or whatever it is, right? So your brain's coming up with that stuff, and it uses processing power to be able to do that. But if you take it out of there, then you can use that for other things. And it's a great way to document your life and journey. And so that is probably, well, not probably, but that is the big one that we are going to talk a little bit about tonight, is documenting, right? Because we are in the process of doing what? Designing a new us, designing a new me. That's what we're doing. And so we're going to be using the journal. We're going to be using the journal to document that process. Okay. So, the stuff that you did last night or the video before, right? We're going to begin now putting it in the journal. When we do our show, when we talk about goals, we're going to use the journal to begin working those goals. We're going to record it there. Okay. So this journal, and these are probably, I don't know, versions, if you will, or volumes within the same, right? So it's not like all of them are the same kind of journals, right? So sometimes my wife runs to the store and she picks up journals, and she picks up stuff, and it's in the office, and I go in and grab one. And when one is full, I just grab another one, right? Whatever's there. So I don't like necessarily try to find one journal that I'm going to use all the time. I mean, I just use whatever's there. When one is empty, I just grab another one. Okay. So we're going to be documenting that. So documenting. So let's run forward. Right. And we're going to talk really about a confidence journal. We're going to talk about a confidence journal, and we're going to show you what that looks like here in a minute. But as we are working through all the things that we're going to be discussing, when we're doing 31 days on this show of live video, and lots of things we're going to be doing, transforming, empowering, educating, encouraging, right? So the journal is going to help us on that process. Anything that you want to track, anything that you want to change needs to be recorded. If it's not recorded, right, there's no really way for you to be able to manage that. Let me say that again. If it's not recorded, there's not really a way for you to manage it and for you to be able to know, okay, how are things going? Because, even if you have the best memory, best mind, best whatever, one of the things that happens is that the further away we get from a difficult situation, right, the more we begin to romanticize it, no matter how difficult the situation was. Right? You're like, oh, back in the day, we used to do blah, 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 blah. Well, if you went back in the day, guess what? You didn't really think that was great. Right? But time, right, helps to diminish, if you will, some of the harshness of things that are going on. Okay? So that's one thing. And that's not that we want to go back and relive the harshness. But for some of you that are out there, right, you're going to be able to grab your journal once we're done. Once you've written, once you have, and when I say done, I don't mean like you forever and forever done. Once you are in the process and you are achieving some success, you're going to be able to take that journal that you've been creating, those volumes that you've been created, and you're going to be able to help other people, because now you have a blueprint for how to do that. There are things that are in my journal that I am working on. Okay, how do I get this into somebody else's hands so that they don't have to go through the same problems that I did? Okay, so journals can help other people as well. And they also help us because we can look back at the journal and see where we were, what state of mind we were in when we wrote the journal. And that sometimes helps us now. And there's so many things that we forget, right? We've said that 2 million things are coming at us at any particular time. We can only process 134,000. Do you know why phone numbers are only are as short as they are? What do you think? Right, 7 digits. Because we can remember 7, 8, 9 almost at any one time. And we put dashes between them, right? Right? We put dashes between them so that we can remember. Social security numbers. Right? All of those, phone numbers, social, because we can remember that many. So that if we're not documenting, we lose a lot. You may come up with a brilliant idea, and if you don't write it down, have you ever done that? Right? So you had, that's a great idea. I should have done it. And you say, okay, I'm going to remember it. And then later you're like, man, what was that? What was I thinking? What was I saying? Imagine if you were able to capture a lot of that information. So journaling. So that's what journaling helps us do. So let's come back here and let's take a look at what we call confidence journaling. So what is confidence journaling? Confidence journaling is a tool that just reminds us of how good we are and what we have to be thankful for. Okay? So a confidence journal. When we get wins in our lives, when we get wins, then our body feels better, our mind feels better, and the mind goes out looking for more wins. Because the brain is always looking for evidence to support what we're telling it. It's the reason that someone loses a pound of weight and they keep going because they saw a success. Even though it was a small benefit, they still saw something that was beneficial. That's why when someone pays off a debt, they keep going. They get excited. They get energy. And they want to pay off more debt. That's why when someone has a conversation that goes well, they want to have more conversation. Whatever it is that you have successes in, you want to have more. That's how we're designed. And so the confidence journal is going to help us, right, in building confidence. And if we can build confidence, it's the first thing that we're going to be doing in our journals. Okay? Right? So lots of different things that we can do, but we're going to start, and I'm going to have you go through and do a confidence journal. So confidence journal. So this is what we want to do in the confidence journal. And you want to do this once a week. What do I got to be grateful for? So what do I have to be grateful for? Is that what that's what should say, right? What are you grateful for? Now, if that entry, right, in the confidence, and when I say confidence journal, perhaps what I should say is within your journal, you're going to be making an entry about confidence, answering these questions. Because some of these questions can be in other types of journals, right? So what do I have to be grateful for right now? Find something. It does not have to be a huge monumental thing. There are things, waking up in the morning, whoo, I'm grateful. I've got clothes to put on. I've got food to eat. I'm grateful. I got a job to go to. I'm grateful. I've got a car. When I got in the car ran. I'm grateful. My wife smiled at me in the morning. I'm grateful. She gave me a kiss. I'm grateful. Right? So all those things, gratitude. What am I grateful for? Sometimes it's easy to sit and look at the negatives, and not that they're not there. And I do not want to to indicate that that things are not happening around you that are not bad, that are not good, right? I'm not grateful for that, right? But there are things around you, however small it may be, that you can be grateful for. What am I happy about right now? What am I happy about right now? I'm happy that, we had some people over here. I saw some friends who were dropping their kids off at the university here. School's about to start, right? I'm happy that I got to see them. I can record that in my happiness journal or my confidence journal. Why am I happy about those things? Man, because, to be able to connect with my friend, right? So one of the guys that came over is somebody I've known since I was 9, I think. Right? We came up together, same church. I came to college together. Right? Hung out together. A lot of who I am developed during the time that we've known each other. And so now he's dropping kids off. Right? So that's why I'm happy, because I got to see him, got to see his kids, got to see his wife. We hung out, we ate, talked about old stories, right? That's what we do when we get together, right? We talk about the old stuff. Okay. What did I accomplish last week? Right? Remember, we're doing this once a week. What did I accomplish last week? And that goes along with this brain dump that I said. What were some successes that I have for that day? But this is, okay, what did I accomplish? What was a successful accomplishment last week? Did I work on my weight? Which, if that's one of your goals. Did I work on my weight? Did I connect? Did I reach out? Did I work on my romance? Did I work on my wellness? Right? Did I work on my family and my friends? Did I work on my business career? Did I work on my finances? Right. So all those things, depending on where you are, what were some successes? Right? What were some accomplishments that you had during the week? Why? So what am I excited about in my life? What am I excited about in my life? Kind of goes back almost to the gratitude, right? So what am I excited about? And we're going to come back, just as when we get through these questions, we're going to come back and we're going to talk about something here in a minute that's going to be very important in how do we use this going forward, right? What do I love and appreciate in my life? What do I love and appreciate in my life? Who do I like hanging around and why? Right? You got some friends. You guys, kick it during the week. You hang out with them. You guys bounce ideas off of each other. This is your kind of relief. You get to go out and you get to just decompress and stay, and not think about work or whatever it is, right? Who do you like to hang out with? And as you're answering that question, then it also helps you to see, do I have anybody to hang out with? Right? So not only are these questions, things that are, okay, what is the state? But it helps to begin prompting us now, right? Okay. Who loves and appreciates me for what I am, warts and all, right? Who are the people that just like me for me? Where you can just be you. They say, come as you are. We'll take you as you are. Okay? So one of the things, and I said, as I mentioned, that we're going to look at what we can do with this, right? So this confidence entry that you're putting in, you're doing it once a week. But if you need a boost, right? If you need a boost, you can do it again. Right? If you need something in the midweek, don't wait. Do it again. Go through the process. And you can look back to last week and the week before and the week before and the week before and the week before that. And you can see the progress that you are making. You can see the progress you're making. Okay? So love it, love it, love it. So we want to encourage you, if you don't have a journal, to go out and buy a journal. And once again, like you saw, it doesn't have to be anything fancy, right? So get a ledger book, get a notebook, get a loose leaf book. If you are, and I'm going to recommend, if at all possible, that you get a paper journal for now. If that's not possible, if your life is such that having a paper journal is going to be inconvenient, then do an electronic journal. Like right now, I am mostly doing electronic journals. Right? And let me see if I can. Yeah. I'm doing the electronic journal in my day one. I'm doing tracking of things in my Notion app. That's another app that I use. But in the morning I get up, I've got my day one that gets me started. I've got my brain dump, and then I've got my success journal at the end of the day that I go through. So I do one every night. Okay, what did I do today? What successes did I have? What am I doing tomorrow? What's still on my mind, right? And I put it there. And once it's there, right? I don't have to think about it anymore. I don't have to do that anymore. And that's the amazing thing about journaling. It really does help to transform you. And as we're making these changes, as we're designing, as we're building, right, we want to be able to track. And so I want you to go out and get a journal. I want you to get on your phones, download a journaling app if that's the way you're going to go, right? And this week, I want you to begin working on your confidence entry. And you saw let's back up here and let's see if we can pull those questions. There we go. Pull those questions back up for you. Okay. And you can go ahead and stop the video, look at those, copy them down, and then begin writing those on a page in the journal so that the next time you just see the questions. You don't have to keep coming back to the video to watch the questions. Right? Love it. Love it. So transforming. That's what happens. And journaling is a huge part of that. We're continuing our series on designing a new me. Designing a new me. We're so glad that you're here. We're glad that you came. Glad that you saw us. Glad that you have decided to watch us. Go ahead. If you're getting benefit from the videos, getting benefit from this video, go ahead, give us a thumbs up, like our channel or like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so that you will be notified when new videos come out. Share it with your family and friends. Let them know that we're doing some great things over here. We're building the community. We're building this. We are in the process. We are educating, we're empowering, and we're encouraging you to take charge of your health and your life. Avoid complications. Go to the next level and live the life you've always wanted. This is Dr. Dwayne Wood. That's Wood with an E. And we're glad that you're here. We'll see you at the next video. And next day. And so we are now, right? So this is day number 6. So we're heading to the 7. Heading to day number 7. And glad that you took time to hang out with us. Let's get some music and let's get on out of here. Good night, everybody.